Welcome to the APEX IFSA Board of Governors with closed captioning provided by Bottega, making your sparkling in-flight beverage experience absolutely shine. Greeting from Delta Airlines Worldwide Headquarters here in Atlanta, where we are graciously hosted by Delta Airlines CEO Ed Bastian as chairman of the APEX IFSA Board of Governors. First, I would like to welcome with heartfelt thanks each of the airline CEOs, president, and chairpeople attending worldwide that we are showing on screen now. These are the global airline leaders investing their time in the aftermath of our world's darkest hours so that they can serve as the light of our industry's future. The challenges that our industry faces in advancing customer care underlines why we have decided to bring the APEX IFSA Board of Governors to public view for the first time ever. The mission of the APEX IFSA Board of Governors is to shape the advancement of airline passenger experience and in-flight service in a manner to best serve the future of our global industry's customers. APEX and IFSA will take the decision from today's meetings and make the top two selected items the highest priorities for the year ahead. With me today is the leader that executes our promises by leading the teams hands-on across the two association, APEX IFSA Executive Director Lauren Costello. She's an amazing executive, having worked with APEX for more than a decade, consistently taking positive action to advance our airline industry. While I know that he needs no introduction, I'm humbled to introduce Delta Airlines CEO Ed Bastian as the 2019 to 2021 Board of Governors Chair. When he led us in 2019, we were deeply honored. Then, when 2020 came, he agreed to extend an additional year to be a bright, positive, forward-looking light during a global pandemic. An amazing, amazing vote of confidence. With my deepest thanks and respect, Mr. Chairman, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Joe, and it's great to be here. It's great to see everyone. I look forward to doing this in person, hopefully real soon. I'm supposed to have a gavel strike here. I will pound the table, and we officially declare us to order.
Can I grab that from the office? Because we will need that for the actual ceremony.
You may. I've got that in a special place, Joe.
Fantastic.
Very good.
So while we're waiting for Joe and the gavel, I'd like to thank everyone for attending. Obviously, focus on service has never been more important in our business as we recover from the pandemic. And Joe and Lauren have put together a great list of options as to what we look at, where we want the APEX and IFSA Board of Governors to focus for the future. So I did my introduction, Joe. I will do the gavel to make it official. It's too nice. Okay, the floor is open. Lauren?
Thank you so much, Ed. Now I would like to present the airline industry advancement options for 2021. And the objective of this meeting is to prioritize and select 2 to 3 items from the following list. First, artificial intelligence, automating airline customer care to serve passengers better worldwide. Augmented reality, driving airport and aircraft augmented reality to improve the travel experience. Biometrics, enabling airline and airport biometrics to quicken passenger travel while improving safety. Connectivity, fulfilling the promise of in-flight connectivity for passengers. Driving change, setting new airline-driven change initiatives with manufacturers that will advance our industry. Health safety, with COVID-19, our industry has aligned around common health safety initiatives centered around the wellness of our passengers through the novel coronavirus and beyond. Our long-term vision includes integrating this into an industry-accepted definition of top world-class airlines. Personalization, remembering customers' preferences with permission to better improve their airline experience. Seamless payment, working to enable seamless payment processing from on the ground to in the air. Next, seating comfort, setting a new global measure for seating comfort to create an official measurement of usable space rather than just pitch. And last, sustainability, to have each airline worldwide take steps to reduce their environmental impact. Our long-term vision includes integrating genuine sustainability into an industry-accepted definition of top world-class airlines. Now, I would like to defer to Joe to present the voting procedure for the topics.
For voting, airline leaders may discuss and suggest more than 2 items each, and each airline may officially vote for 2 of the 10 objectives, with the highest priority being given to their first vote. In the event of a tie, the party selected with the higher number of first votes shall win. In the rare event that it is also tied, then airlines that have listed a third choice during their voting discussion will have that non-binding selection count towards the tiebreaker. The chair shall cast the first airline vote, and thereafter, each airline executive shall be called in alphabetical order, save for the incoming 2021 to 2022 APEX IFSA chair voting last, so that the gavel may thereafter be passed. I now yield the floor to our chairman to cast the official votes on behalf of Delta Airlines.
Well, thanks, Joe. So when you look at the list of suggestions here, I think there's some great opportunities for us. They're all worthy of consideration. From Delta's standpoint, I'd put the highest priority on sustainability and health and safety. And if I could throw in a third, since I'm chair, I can throw a third in there. I would put connectivity as the third, but it'd be in that order.
Okay, very good. And thoughts on each of them?
Well, I think sustainability is clear. That's, if we're gonna have a sustainable business model, we won't have that if we don't have a sustainable planet, and the resources and safety is something that we have all paid an enormous amount of attention to, and I would encourage us all to focus on the wellness and the resilience of our people and our customers in coming through this very, very difficult. And this won't be the last time we focus on this issue, and we got to make the improvements that we have taken in the last year and try to cement that progress as much for the benefit of, again, both our people and our customers.
Absolutely, I agree with you entirely. So thank you for that, Ed.
Okay, do you want to do the roll call?
Oh, no, that would be for you,
Oh,
my
this
friend.
is
This is yours.
This is my call. Okay, I'm going to invite the Turkish Airlines Group CEO and Chairman İlker to speak and vote on behalf of Turkish Airlines. İlker?
Thank you, Ed. Thank you so much. And I would like to thank to all of you. And I would like to also say that it's my pleasure to attend APEX Board of Governors meeting. I would like to thank Dr. Joe Leader for this kind of invitation. And I believe that in response to the ever-changing developments impacting our business, we can recover our industry together by discussing and achieving customer-centered innovations. In my opinion, as we continue to fight against this pandemic and expectations set recently will be with us for a long time. And health, safety, and biometrics have the utmost importance and priority for this year for us. And as recognized by APEX Health Safety with Diamond status, we have elaborately implemented all the necessary measures to ensure that our passengers and also travel in a healthy and safe manner since the beginning of the pandemic here at the Turkish Airlines. The services at the airport should be more digitized and become completely touchless. COVID-19 test services need to be seamless from reservation to receiving and sharing test and vaccination results. In the flight experience, product and services need to relieve customers from their concerns. For the same, we have appointed hygiene expert cabin crews and designed special hygiene kits for our passengers, air shields between passengers, and innovations like self-cleaning, artificial surfaces, antiviral services, and the surfaces are also gaining importance during this period. Actually, furthermore, training all related parties, including our customer, is the key to have a safe environment for all. So we have prepared safe travel tips for our passengers, which includes reminders, directions, and individual measures to be taken throughout the whole travel process. We have also launched a new animated safety video, PK Extra Care, in collaboration with our ambassador, Dr. Mehmet Oz, so to inform our passengers regarding our health safety measures as well. So secondly, we're closely following the developments on biometrics. Recently, a biometric trial took place in Istanbul, Hub of Us in Istanbul Airport, which reduced boarding times by 30%. and which is a remarkable number, I think so. And as passengers refrain from crowds and face-to-face interactions in this period, biometric processes gain extra importance to also preserve the social distance as well. So passengers will be able to scan their face at every step of the journey, along with travel health wallet applications. Biometric technology also seems to be key in the future travel much more. And in all, I think that health, safety, and biometrics can be two main priorities for our industry in 2021. I'm looking forward to reading all members' opinions, and thank you very much for this opportunity once again. So that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ilker. Those are all really good thoughts. Congratulations on the progress that you're making at Turkish Air. I'd now like to invite Atlantic Airways CEO JOHANNA to speak and vote on behalf of Atlantic Airways.
Thank you very much. Pleasure being here. This has been very challenging and interesting times, I would also say. And as our customers, and we are returning to the skies, I believe that we should have more now than ever be focusing on making the customer experience as seamless and pleasant as possible. Therefore, we suggest that we prioritize as number one, personalization. We as an airline have such good data to help our customers' preferences with the permission to better improve their airline experiences. And we have very good data to help our customer to get greater personalized experiences. On the other hand, we have the GDPR, and other legislation. We know that's a challenge and that we need to face and solve. In the same spirit, we suggest that we also prioritize as number two, seamless payment. Although in some ways our industry is very advanced, we need to make fundamental progresses toward digitalization and in some areas of our industry. And this will both benefit us as an airline, and most importantly, it will benefit our customers. So the two priorities is personalization and seamless payment. Thank you.
Thank you, Johanna. We will recognize your selections and include that in the tabulation. Next is Ted Christie with us from Spirit Airlines.
All right, thank you, Ed. I appreciate your service and contributions as chairman during this time. I also appreciate this opportunity to connect with other industry leaders and look forward to moving into this next phase of the recovery together. There are two areas that I would like to focus on. First, Spirit has been invested in introducing automated self-bag drop and biometric photo matching solutions at select stations in the past year and a half. We have plans to install this technology at more airports in 2021 and 2022. I'd like to focus on biometrics because travelers have become more accepting of new touchless technology over the past year. People also want to get through airports quicker and with less contact. And the technology we have introduced has proven to be both easy to use and effective in shortening wait times. I look forward to continued implementation and adoption across the industry. Second, Spirit is currently testing our new Wi-Fi connectivity solution on our flights. Our guests have been able to access the Wi-Fi service at a reduced rate during this temporary trial period, and we're looking forward to increased installations in the year. I look forward to discussing the future of connectivity and all the opportunities it affords guests and airlines as we continue on with our project throughout the year. Again, I look forward to working together in this new chapter, and thank you.
Well, thank you, Ted. In all seriousness, appreciate your consideration. Next up, Andres CONESA, my good friend from Aeromexico. Andres.
Ed, thank you very much for your introduction and for your kind words. And thank you, Joe, and all the APEX team for inviting me to be part of this important event where we will discuss initiatives that are, transformational for the industry. I want to give also my best personal regards to all the CEOs, presidents, and chair people on this call. Aeromexico's first vote is for health safety. The health and safety of our customers and employees is and always should be our top priority. We will keep working to ensure that they are safe across the journey, even through new challenges emerge. This is something that we should be doing as an industry, since it is an essential part of our job to make them feel confident when they fly. Aeromexico's second vote is for environmental sustainability. We need to understand that if we want to grow our business in the next years and serve our global demand, it is important that together we find innovations and commitments that are respectful of our planet and our communities. At Aeromexico, this has and will always be part of our culture.
Thank you, Andres. Appreciate that, those thoughts and observations. Next, Xiamen Air Chairman Zhang Dong to speak on behalf of Xiamen Airlines.
Thank you for having me, Ed. I feel great to join this meeting. It is quite fruitful and inspiring. For me, I like the idea of personalization and connectivity. But in the light of situation that the world is still fighting COVID-19, we consider that the health safety is a higher priority than any other items for 2021. While government works towards solutions on bigger scale, we as an industry need to provide passengers with safe trips and reconnect the world again. It is significant that we share our practice and experience without holding back and cooperate hand in hand with each other. We could assure the prosperity of our industry in the long term. Secondly, we firmly support the idea of sustainability. After working with the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals for over 4 years, we've explored some directions of implementing and deepening the spirit. In the past years, we have been committed to more green actions like recycling cabin waste, upgrading our supplies with more eco-friendly materials, and strengthening fuel-saving measures in a series of ways. I think things like this would be a good start. The COVID-19 pandemic and its impact has shown that we began as a health crisis has quickly become a human and socio-economic crisis. Therefore, I believe health safety and sustainability are the top priority for 2021 in our industry. And that's what I hope to shine a light on when we meet in October. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Xiao Dong, for those votes. I'd now like to invite the Ethiopian Airlines Group CEO, TEWOLDE, to speak on behalf of Ethiopian Airlines.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Dr. Joe, and all my colleagues here in the board. It's a pleasure to be with you today. And thank you for inviting me. As you know, Ethiopian Airlines has not suspended flights to all over our network, if not for passengers, but for cargo. So it has been a very challenging year. But since we have changed our business model to cargo early on, then we are doing well. We can say we are doing well. So coming back to the health safety and biosafety in general, I think it is an important priority of the day, because we have to work on that to ensure passengers have the confidence to fly back with us. But I think we have to do it in a common global standard, because right now it looks like that every airline is doing its own version. But I hope either through IATA or APEX or whatever forums we may have, we may come up with a global standard. So it is all about contactless travel on ground and on board. It is a huge challenge for airlines. We are working, all of us are working on this, but from the way we see it, it's going to be a very important, decisive, competitive tool in our customer service, both on board and on ground. And we have been working on digitalization of all our processes at the airport and throughout the journey in the airline. We also own Addis Ababa Airport as a hub. It is the largest hub today in our continent. So we are trying also to digitalize all the processes at the airport to minimize contacts. And so far, so good. And the fact that we have around 60% of our pre-COVID capacity back to service shows that the customer confidence and our load factor is also around 50 to 55%. So this shows that we are doing the right things to convince customers to fly back. So thank you very much.
Thank you to Waldy. It's good to see the progress you're making. Congratulations on the success you're having as you're bringing your airline back. And I completely agree with you. The more we can work together on a global set of initiatives here, it'll help us all get there that much quicker. Next up is JetBlue President and CEO JOHANNA Garrity to speak on behalf of JetBlue. JOHANNA, are you with us?
Mr. Chairman, JetBlue President and COO JOHANNA Garrity has a conflict for this session, and her Chief of Staff has authorized APEX IFSA to submit JetBlue's votes in the following order on their behalf. So JetBlue's first vote as a priority is for personalization. Their next vote is for connectivity, and their final vote, should there be a tie, is for sustainability.
Well, thank you, Lauren, and we appreciate the input from JOHANNA and the JetBlue team. Next up is YVONNE MAKOLO to speak on behalf of Rwanda Air.
Thank you, Ed, for having me here. I'm very pleased to be with all the other airline CEOs. This year being a very tough year for the aviation industry, my number one priority would be health safety, given what we're going through and the impact on our industry. And the second one would definitely be sustainability, since this is something that we'll be working on for a long time now and in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, YVONNE. I appreciate that input. Next up, I'd like to invite Air Canada President and CEO Michael ROUSSEAU to speak on behalf of Air Canada.
Thank you, Ed, and good morning to everyone. Perhaps it's just me, but at first I found debating industry priorities during a global pandemic a bit strange. It seemed like standing in a burning house asking, what are my options here? But when you think about it, we are at a very interesting crossroad, with the industry preparing to rebuild itself almost entirely. There is no better time to step back and consider what is important for our future success. While all of the suggested priorities are important, and they are initiatives Air Canada are working on, I believe as an industry, we first need to get the big things right. If we do that, it will create room and opportunity to make many of these other improvements for our customers. For our first priority, I would choose health and safety, and not only because of COVID-19. Safety first, last, and always has been our top priority at Air Canada, and I'm sure it's the same for everyone sitting at this virtual table. Apart from being an ethical imperative, maintaining a record and reputation for safety are absolutely essential if you want to stay in this business for the long term. If anything, COVID-19 showed us the consequences when people don't feel safe. 90% of our traffic disappeared overnight. For a second priority, my vote is sustainability. This is another of the big things we must get right to give our industry the framework to succeed long term. As with safety, we first of all strive to operate sustainably because it's the right thing to do. More than ever, the realities and dangers of climate change are plain for everyone to see, as are the responsibilities we have to each other to find solutions. Again, COVID highlighted this. It painfully reinforced how connected everyone in the world is to one another. And this is not enough. There are compelling business reasons, whether it is from ESG investors, governments with GHG commitments, flight shaming advocates, or regular customers who reasonably expect we will be responsible. Airlines are under tremendous pressure to reduce their footprints. This is why, like many of you, we have set long-term carbon neutrality goals and are working hard to develop the detailed plan. There is no going back. Both of these priorities, safety and sustainability, are more critical than ever to both our short-term and our long-term future. Thank you for providing this time to me to share my views.
Well, thank you, Michael. Appreciate that input. Next, I'd like to invite Alex WILCOX, who's CEO and of JSX, as well as a board of directors member at LATAM. Alex?
Thank you, Ed, and thanks, Joe, for having us all here. It's nice to be in such lofty company. I also want to thank both Scott and Ed for your leadership here in the U.S. with respect to PSP and making sure that there is a future for the industry. And as one of the many recipients of that program, we're very grateful to you for that as well. With respect to the items on the agenda, certainly sustainability is number one for us. And I would actually applaud United Airlines. It was interesting to see what you did with Archer there. But I think getting these things certified is going to be a lot harder than most people think. And so when we talk about sustainability, I think we need to actually encourage our regulators to speed up certification processes so these things can actually take flight. I think there's a lot of tech savvy people that don't understand certifying things for human flight. So hopefully we can help them with that. And second for us would be biometrics. We learned a lot about it last year, as we all did everything we could to encourage touchless check-in. Obviously for international things, we're doing a lot with face recognition, but I think we need to do more in terms of setting some standards, particularly linked to privacy and how the data is handled, that we can use it as an industry. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Alex. I appreciate that input. Those are some good suggestions. Now to close, I'd like to invite the incoming Board of Governors, United Airlines CEO, my friend Scott Kirby, to speak on behalf of United Airlines. Scott?
Well, thank you, Ed. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, everyone, for inviting me to be a part of this august group. It's hard to follow someone like Ed. I need to figure out how to follow someone different. So in the future, but
tie, it makes everything better.
Yeah, tie would make me look better. I've noticed that my partners on the screen, my store partners, are all dressed better than me too. So hopefully they'll get me well trained. TEWOLDE, that's your job in the years to come. But thank you, everyone. I'm looking forward to being a part of this group and what we can do together. Like a lot of others, I'm going to vote for health and safety and sustainability. I think those are certainly health and safety in the next year as we come out of the pandemic is probably number one. And over the long term, as Ed said very eloquently, if we don't work on sustainability, our business models will not be sustainable. That's increasingly going to be true around the world. And to me, these two items are also a little different than some of the other really good ideas that were proposed, in the sense that much like we've treated aircraft safety over the years, these should be areas where we don't compete. Some of the other things we're going to compete on. But these are both areas where we should work together for best practices, figure out what we can learn from each other, not view these as competitive, because that'll be better for our industry, for the globe, for our customers. And so there are also areas where our alignment should not be hopefully competitive, and hopefully a group like this can serve in that regard. So I vote for health and safety and sustainability.
Thank you, Scott. I could not agree with you more on your comments, as well as these are not competitive playing fields that we compete around. I'd like to thank all of the input from our Board of Governors members and appreciate your dedication and support of our industry. And Dr. Leader, I'd like you to please report the results as to the direction that APEX and IFSA will have for the upcoming year and the consideration that you're going to provide.
based on the votes, the #1 priority is health safety, and the #2 priority is sustainability. We will treat them as equal priorities in the coming year because both are very important for the future of our planet, the world, for the return of our airlines worldwide. We're beginning to see it is genuinely the beginning of the end at this point. So we will enter this year, the post-pandemic era. It will be one that will be a little bit in different places, in different parts of the world. Our job as an industry is to advance it as quickly and safely as possible. And for sustainability, as you've said many times, along with our colleagues here on the Board of Governors, this is about the future of our planet and about doing what's right for the world. There's an opportunity here for APEX and IFSA to come together via our airlines and our suppliers and really show every different segment of transportation how to do sustainability right by starting today and moving as quickly as possible. So with that, Ed, those are our 2 items for the coming year.
Well, Joe, I could not agree with you more. They're great initiatives and look forward to the progress that we're all going to make in the coming year with your assistance. So now I'm going to move to close the meeting. Can I get to strike the gavel one more time before I give it to Scott?
Indeed. This is
10 days I've only used this on Scott.
Yeah.
meeting is closed. Into the new role.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Well, and before it goes, there's one last component. So we will, as we put away this gavel, we're going to do a little bit of, this says Ed Bastian. If you watch this moment of magic here, we're going to go like this. I'm going to walk off stage. Scott, I'll meet you over here.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. And I look forward to working with you and the rest of the industry in the year ahead.
Thank you.
Look, I'm honored to be able to receive the gavel from Ed and look forward to great things ahead for APEX, IFSA, and our future as an industry. I really look forward to seeing all of you in person in October in Long Beach. It'll be great to be starting to get back together. Not only important for our industry, important for the psychological recovery of all of us and the rest of the world. We have at United been really focused in the last year on the customer experience. And while we're a really competitive industry, there are a lot of things that we work together on that make things better for our customers. And COVID was one of the perfect examples of that, where as an industry, we shared best practices. We talked to each other about safety, health initiatives. When there was a lot of uncertainty about what's the right thing to do, we were talking to each other and working together. And this industry, more than any industry in the entire world, really led the efforts on responding to COVID. But there's a lot of things that we can do together in the future too. Whether you think about the security experience or how to make it better getting through terminals or customs and border patrols. There's all kinds of areas where we shouldn't be trying to compete with each other, but instead should be focused on making the collective experience of the customer even better. And there's one more thing that I'll put on your radar, which is sustainability. This is coming. It is the biggest challenge facing our generation, and it's up to us to leave a better world behind for our children and our grandchildren. And so one of the things I will be focused on and using this platform as an opportunity to try to push all of us to do the best we can on sustainability. And this is another area where I hope we get to a point where we're not competing on sustainability efforts, but we, like safety, are learning from each other and just moving forward faster and faster. And again, are the industry that is seen around the world as the leader on sustainability. So thank you. Look forward to seeing you all in person soon and look forward to working together to improve the customer experience.
Thank you for attending the 2021 APEX IFSA Board of Governors. We look forward to seeing all of you join us in person if possible and by remote if necessary at the APEX IFSA Expo this October 19th in Long Beach, California. Thank you for attending and we look forward to your feedback.